Oh yeah, forgot I gotta test something. Make sure this microphone is working. And let's see. Doing a little testing right now. Okay. I see we're live. Can you all hear me? Hey, Tip. Hey, Rona. Lise. What's good? Awesome, awesome. Does the sound any better tonight? I have an official microphone instead of recording from the built-in microphone on my laptop next to my loud fan. So I hope this is better for you all. I guess we'll see after the night. Ashley, yes. Notification Squad strong. Laura, what's up? Asia. Pamela, yes. You made another live, and this one has a freebie, so you are good to go. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button. We're going to get started really soon. There were a few people who were confused, and I had to let them know that we're going to do a live tonight to release the template. So then that way y'all watch the instructions before you play with it. That's my favorite, when I know that you all have watched the video before you start tinkering with it. And I think you all are really going to have fun with this. This is for beginners. I should have put beginners on there because a lot of, I'm going to start doing more beginner stuff, but a lot of you all are, asking me for beginner related content. And this is one of those, especially when it comes to templates. So yes. We're going to get started in just a moment. As a matter of fact, I'm going to find me another background that I can throw in this template real quick. And because it's free, I'm not really concerned about licensing or anything. So the people that are here early, what background should I do for a sock design? I think I have like a galaxy background, whatever. It doesn't have to be Valentine related. I just did this because for the folks that are here with me tonight, spending your Valentine with me, I just wanted to show y'all all my love. All right, so yes, Pamela, got you. And you know what, Pamela Wooten, you might have to inbox me. We might be related because some of us are Wootens and some of us are Woodens, and we come from the same area, so we might actually be some kin in here, and there'll be a small world. Easter, good idea, Erica. Easter. So yeah, let's do it. Let's figure out some backgrounds that we can throw in here. And then I'll show y'all how to modify this template. And I think, do I have my video on pause? I don't want it doing nothing crazy. Hold on, I got a little technical difficulty. All right, I'm trying to keep it open so I can see your comments, but it keeps wanting to show me my own video. There we go. So live chat is open and I can see what y'all saying. Oh, really, Monique? Oh, so we might we might be having a family reunion tonight and not even know it. All right, so I'm going to show you what to do if you had absolutely nothing on here right now and you just wanted to design a sock and not any kind of pattern or anything. This is what we're going to start with. The simple. I'm going to hide it. I'm going to hide the little pattern background. I'm going to hide the smart object. And then this is just a little template. And it's not even a nicely perfect template. What it is it has a a simple little gradient in the background, and 2 spaces for socks. What I do is I normally put this on to do a mock-up because it actually shows the fibers of the sock through it. So we're going to drop our image right in this area. So let's figure out what image that's going to be. Let's figure out an Easter image. And hopefully, oh, I wanted to tell y'all too while I have you online. The free template, I guess my link was broken and a few people let me know that. So this one right here, if you go to the all over 3D where we print and you press, I had to specify that. So this is the one where we print the full 36 by 44 sheet, and then you all press it on your 16, and I specify 16 by 20 heat press because I think you can do it with a 15 by 15, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to recommend that on a 15 by 15. But anyhow, if you go to this link, this yellow, that's where the free blank template is. It has nothing on it other than these guidelines, but I will be uploading some ones for youth sizes. I got requests for youth size and also the onesie and toddler sizes. So I will be updating that for you all. But now at least this one, when you're ready to do your all over prints, you can at least grab that now. And it's for the free. It's no charge for that. It's actually to help you design. So when you do upload graphics, they're in the right format. All right, so what were we were looking for? Easter. Let's look up Easter background. And we're getting a quick lesson again in how we search for images. So we're going to search for images. The quickest thing to do is to come over here to your tools, go to size and hit large. And then this is going to bring up your large resolution stuff. If we want a pattern, let me tell you, that's the next thing you look up. So let's look up Easter pattern. And if you're looking for something that is seamless, that's the word you're looking for. A seamless pattern is one that you can take that little square tile and you can copy it over and over and over again, and it will look continuous. And I'm looking for something that if we put a photo in front of it, it would not compete. Like this one is a nice one. We also want one that's free. So whenever you see 123 RF, it's not free. iStock photo is not free. And I purchase stock images. So I'm definitely not telling you not to purchase them. But if I'm sharing this with you, I don't want to put a purchased file in there and then be distributing it. So let's do Vecteezy. Let's just go to Vecteezy. Vecteezy is one. There's freepick.com. Of course, this is a pro one. So let's just put in Easter here. Easter pattern. Now, when something is vector, that means that, of course, you understand that if you use your cutter, those are vector files. But the idea of vector is that it never lit on your fingernail. Vectors don't. Bitmap images, the bigger you make, how they get me. They know what they're doing. They know absolutely what they're doing. I want something non-competitive so when we put our photo in front, it won't look crazy. Okay, that looks like it could be a good sock pattern. And really and truly, I don't really use these type of patterns for socks. I use more solid colors or like wallpapers, but might as well. So we're giving them credit right now, whatever the credit is due on that. As a matter of fact, I'll copy and paste that that link. Let's put this in my main delete files. Let me go ahead and do it now. Since we have to give attribution, includes a free license. How do I provide attribution? Let's go ahead and copy that. And then when I'm going to show it in my folder. Of course, my folder pops up over here. If you never unzip before on my PC, I just do extract all. It'll open up in its own folder, or I can make it up somewhere else. And it has opened up in its own folder. Now, you can open this up in whatever program that you have that deals with vectors, because I did download a vector file. And this one specifically has an Illustrator file, so I'm going to roll with that. And some of these things that are free do not tile well. And as a matter of fact, the one that I have in there that's free right now is not tiled well at all. So we're going to see that in just a moment. Let's grab this one. I don't know. I like the randomness more than I like, I'm just copying, Control C. Y'all see my little thing I downloaded that it gives y'all little cheats of what I'm typing on my keyboard. So I hope that's helpful. And then I'm going to Control V. And when I paste it, I'm going to make sure I paste it as a smart object. If you don't have any other choice, you can paste it as pixels, but a smart object preserves the vector. And we can go ahead and let's tile this. I have to move my microphone for a second, y'all, because right now I wasn't anticipating it coming in today. So it's a big old heavy microphone just sitting on my knee ready to fall. I'm holding it like a baby. All right, so let us pull this in a little bit. And I think we can go with somewhere around about 4 tiles. Let's see what we end up with. And I'm going to Alt, click, and drag. Now you could do this in the Illustrator program too to tile it. This one actually looks like it tiles well. Where it snapped, you don't see a line, so that's perfect. And then what I'll do, I like to cheat. Well, it's not really cheating when you know what you're doing. You're just using your tools. So I already had 2 of them. So instead of grabbing each one separately, I'm going to grab the 2 together. Let me show you what I did one more time. So I took one, I held down Control, I clicked the other one. Now I have 2 of them selected. I'm going to Alt and drag to make a copy. And I think that little thing down there, my screen is helping y'all, is getting in my way. Let's see. I think we are lined up now. We're good. So that was 4 versions of it. Technically, you could do that in Illustrator too. But I'm just going to go ahead and group that and call that the Easter pattern. And I'm going to put that link right there. Oh, of course I didn't put the link because I copied and pasted. I'm glad I kept it up. So I'm going to put the link for attribution. And then also, so you know where to go, I'm going to try to start doing more resources for you all, especially putting them in the description. I'll be forgetting, y'all. By the time I finish making a video, I'll be ready to go to sleep. All right, so what did I say I was going to do? I'm going to put that here. And then you'll know where to go for that. And then that'll also be a resource for you. If you didn't know about VectEasy, now you know. Let's do we can do a color overlay for this. Let's do a layer, new fill layer, or we can let's just do an effect. Let's do a color overlay effect. And right now the blend mode is on multiply. We want to change it to normal and make the opacity 100%. So we just recolored that artwork just now. Now you can play with the blend mode, and of course red in different blend modes is going to apply to the colors underneath differently, you know, just like sublimation does. But in this case we're just going to keep it normal so that I can show you how you can just make it a single color. Let's say we're wanting to go with like a pastel purple or something. And then I'll show you a different approach to that later. So that's pastel purple, and let's bring up the fact that we have the little patterns here. So here are the way the patterns are set up. You have a small step and repeat, and it's just going at an angle. You have a small random repeat, which is not that random. It's just one of them's twisted to the left about 15 degrees, the other one's sitting straight up. So that's your random. Then you have a large random, and then I have an extra large random. So based on what photo you're using, you will and then you can use a combination of these. Like you can do the large random, and then you can do the small step and repeat, or the small random as well. And then if you need to, you can absolutely move these around. I would just tell you to make a copy of whichever one you want to move and not mess with the original orientation, because they are kind of already set up to look like a pattern. Now how you change this is, don't even worry about opening up anything right here. These are smart objects. So if you double click here to change the image, and this is turned off for a reason because you can't even see where it is. You're going to double click here and bam, there is your smart object. And it just happens to have other layers in it. So let's put Mr. Puppy in there. And we closed down and we said yes, so it's going to update. Or you could have did Control S to save, which is probably the safer way. Yeah, tip, I need to do a video showing you how to print the separate sheets from Photoshop. It's like a calculation type of thing that I have to do, but I will definitely do that video. That's probably one of the most requested. So I was just checking my notes while I was waiting on that to upload. So here it is automatically. Now let's check to see what it looks like. That's our extra large random repeat. That's our large. That's our small, and then here's our small step and repeat. And it's a smart object, so whatever you put in that layer is going to update to here. So now that you understand that concept, I'm going to your homework is basically to take this template, and even if you don't physically create the socks, I want you to at least create some mock-ups, some fun stuff. And we're going to have a post on the Innate Creatives group. It's going to be one post for you to post your homework under that one post. And this time I'm giving you a template before the homework is due. So homework is due, let's say Monday. That way it gives y'all all weekend to play with this. And this is really a beginner's one. So I'd like anybody that has Photoshop will be able to play with this. Let's see. Oh, if you actually wanted to print this, let me show you something. What I have is the mock-up clipping mask on. I'm going to right click and disable that layer mask. And I have my printing clipping mask on. This sock outline is just to give you an idea. I'm going to zoom out. I used to do these really long socks, and if you have those jigs, you know exactly what I'm talking about, the long jigs, where I used to have to use roll media, and it would be 13 inches wide, but 26 inches long, so I could do the full sock. So this does actually continue up to 26 inches. If you needed to do that, you could change the canvas size. So I'm not going to do that just yet because I don't want to confuse anybody that doesn't need to change the canvas size. If I turn off the visibility of the sock outline, I definitely don't want to print that. I will also have to turn off the visibility of the sock. Now I have my printable, and it looks like I need to move this template over a little bit too. So I'm taking that whole folder, moving it over, and of course I wouldn't print this gradient background here. This would be my print file. I'm ready to make a sock like right now. I can put my puppies back on there, and this is a sock. And I will do a tutorial on pressing socks too. I have two methods. One is where I press the front of the socks together and then I press the backs together. And another method that I do, if I'm not using that jig, if I'm using the Sublime socks that have the insert already in it, or if you're making your own really thin insert, you can do what I call the taco method. And the taco method is where you fold up both sheets together so that the crease is in the same exact place, and then you put one sock in one taco and the other sock in the other taco, and that way you never have to worry about if you flipped your design. If you ever made socks that continue across the front and the back, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you press them the right way on one side and you miss and flip them the wrong way on the back and it doesn't read the same way on the back, that's where the taco method comes in handy. So I'll make a video on the taco method. Y'all might have to remind me because you know how I get, but remind me about making a video on the taco method. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into a few little extra tips. This session tonight is not going to be long because I really want y'all to go ahead and get to playing with this, whether it's tonight or anytime this weekend. I'm going to show you how, if you have your colors already set, and let's say you have a background and we want to, instead of doing, so instead of a color overlay, I'm going to turn that off. And let's just say I want to manipulate my colors here. I do this all, y'all always ask me about color change. Now the best thing to do would be to go into Illustrator and you can physically change all of these, but let's just assume this was a bitmap image and you say, you know what, that orange is really not doing it for me in this design. You can go to your layer, a new adjustment layer, and then let's play with the hue and the saturation, and then you can tell it that you want to use the previous layer to create a clipping mask. Let's do that and say okay. Now this means the color change is only going to occur and apply to exactly what it's clipped to. Now I can change the colors on the master level. That means that whatever I'm shifting here will apply to all colors. Ooh, I liked when I saw that teal. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, so we have a master level, but what I like to do is kind of play with the individual colors. So if I know I'm looking at orange, I might go to the reds and I might crank red all the way down or up and see, well, what's going on with the reds? And do I really like it as is? And I might tone that down. Orange also has yellow in it. Let's see. But you see the other colors have yellows too. And what you can do is you can play with, say we're playing with these colors here. I didn't really like that green like that. And then you can come and play with the range that it's selecting. So you can bring it in. And see how I was changing that green there. Let's see, what else can we do? Let's change. Oh, we can colorize. Now colorize is with you turn everything one color, and then you can bring the saturation up. You can bring the saturation down. It just makes it grayer. Let's say if we wanted that teal color that I saw, then we might have to bring that saturation up, bring it more towards the teal, and then we can make it lighter or darker. And of course, for the lightness, when I do colorize, I keep the lightness at 0, because otherwise you'll have like a little gray tint to your background. So that's another way to change colors. Let's see. We also could do a gradient. Let's do that. Let's do a layer. Let's do a new fill layer, and let's do a gradient. Say okay. Now right now it's fading it from black to clear or to transparent. And the fact that we already had a color overlay before with the teal color, so it's fading it from black to teal. But we can choose a gradient of whatever we like. And these are some pre-made gradients. But you can get really creative and make your own gradient. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to play with gradients. Ooh, I'm liking that. That looks like a summer sunset. But this looks a little more Easter-like to me. So it's got the pastels, the pretty colors. And maybe we want to take this color. Let's say we want that to be more purple. We can click on that and find a purple that suits us. And now purple is a part of that palette. And really and truly, the options are endless when it comes to the gradients, because you can just play with these all day. All day. And I'll zoom out a little bit. So now we can see what our gradient looks like. So I just showed you a few different ways to recolor some patterns and some images to get into it there. Let me do, I'm going to bring in one more thing. Popular. Let's just do, as a matter of fact, I think I already have one that I downloaded earlier today. It's really popular is to do the galaxy look on the socks, and I'm literally dragging this from my folder and dropping it right onto my artboard. So you don't have to have patterns in the socks. You can do your solid colors. And then you can still apply color effects. You can still apply gradients. As a matter of fact, I'll drag this one below here. You can even apply multiple things. So the options are really endless with this. And I'm not going to overwhelm you with too many more tools or layers in this. I just want you to understand you can have a solid color. This is our solid color background. Let me turn that off. So you have solid color right now is white. You can double click on that fill color. And let's say you want to choose a color close to something in the graphic, but maybe a lighter version of it. There you go. Or maybe even a darker version. Plenty of things to play with on such a simple project, which is going to be a pair of socks. Now, granted, keep in mind how you're going to design these. This can either be, if you're doing the taco method, this is a front and back when you fold it. If you're doing the front press, then the back press, then this is a left and a right sock. So if you really want to see that, turn that back on so you can understand what you're working with and you don't cut anything important off. And I think that's it. I'm going to check and see if y'all have any questions for me. All right, all right. You like the lime green? And this template will work if you have Affinity. The only thing that's not going to work is these smart objects, which is really the reason why I do work with Photoshop so much, is because the smart objects are so bomb. Basically, it preserves the image while you do whatever you need to do to it. So if I ever change out that image, just like we changed the dog, and just to show you all here too, let me turn some of that off, turn that layer off. I also have I'm going to do a hue saturation layer, new adjustment layer, hue saturation, clip it to there, and I'll do a master, or we don't have to. Let me change saturation. Now I wanted to show you how this particular file, and I would really have to go back in there because this is a free file that I downloaded, but it is not tiled well. You see those little cracks in there? So if you want to, you can fix that. But I noticed that after I had pulled it in and worked with it. So I just want to let you know that it's in there. And I wouldn't say that that's production ready. Just because I see those lines in there and it's bothering the mess out of me. So I would probably just find another image, or you could, in this case, I can go into Illustrator and I can try to find, I'm telling you, I couldn't even find it in Illustrator. So I don't know what in the world the issue is. It might be, it's not showing in Illustrator. So that's when I was like, okay, well, at that point in time, just find you another free background, because it's not worth the energy of trying to figure out how this is coming together right now, because I do not see the line anywhere in it. And it's so frequent, meaning that it's got to be built into the actual the pattern making of it. It's not the fact that there are 4 different pieces here. It's way more frequent than those 4 pieces. So I don't know what's going on with that, and I don't want you to try to rack your brains figuring it out. But if you do rack your brains figuring it out, let me know. I was even thinking like, well, maybe it's some trash on a different layer and I'm trying to find it, and yeah, it's just too much. Too much. But I just wanted to let y'all know that you have me on Valentine's Day, and you have a pair of socks that will be mocked up with my mug on this very special day for joining me on February 14th. All right, so that's me. And those are your socks. And I am going to, at the end of this video, post the link in the description of the video. I do want you all to share, share this video. Don't just share the link, because I want people to understand how to work with these type of files. And this is my beginner's introduction to smart objects, to changing colors, to mask, because you're using mask to hide the mock-up or not. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and enable it so you all have that enabled when you get it. I'm going to throw my front sock back on there, and I'm going to put the background back on, and then we'll change this background back to white. And I will turn off this sock outline. You know what? I'm going to leave it on so that way it will remind you to turn it off. So what I would do, I would not put anything special right there, because that's where you may have to turn it and basically roll your edges so that you don't get the white bare line on the edge of the socks. So that's it. That is it, my loves. Any questions before I let you all go to your beautiful evenings? And let me make sure I'm on live chat and not top chat. Oh, thank you. Happy Valentine's. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close out. And this was like the shortest session we ever had. So I'm really glad you all are here with me. And I cannot wait to see what you post. I will have a special post that says put your homework here, and then that way invite your friends if they're doing the sock design too. We're going to do something special for a person. We're not going to call it a winner, because y'all are all winners, but we're going to do something special for someone that posts on that post. Okay. All right. Yes, yeah, it's actually Kimberly, it's not Inmate Labs. No. It is Innate Creatives is the private group that we have. Innate Lab is the business page. But definitely come on to to Innate Creatives. And innate just means something that you were born to do, something you're born with. All right. Oh, Rona, the socks that this does, if you use that jig, the pretty universal jig, the brown one that they used to sell, I think Condi used to sell them too. Those jigs, it will fit that. If you're doing the Sublime socks, you actually need to make your image. That's why if you look, I have the smaller, I call this the large random repeat, but if you're using the Sublime socks, you don't stretch them out. They already have an insert in them. So basically for that, you're going to leave more space in between it so that you don't cut off your images. I use a Sublime sock all the time. That's the one that has the little black heel, and some of you may be using silky socks. I haven't tried them out yet. I probably will try them. I do have an account. I just haven't gotten around to playing with substrates because y'all been keeping me busy with the artwork. So, no, you don't actually have to press the socks. It would be lovely if you do. Then you can show that off. But all you have to do is just mock it up. Now, if you don't have Photoshop, and you do want to mock up socks, like I'm working on the website being able to accommodate people who do not have Photoshop. If you go to Innate Lab, there is a place where you can design socks. Let me see real quick if I can just pull it up. Now, I do have socks that are already designed, but I think this is it. Sublimation socks. Yep. And then you can start designing here. So these are the same socks, and you can go to the designer just like we did for the t-shirts that time. So there's really no excuse even if you don't have Photoshop. The only thing is I was giving you this template because it makes doing the patterns really, really easy. Really easy. Which is, a lot of people are timid about trying to make something exactly match up. Especially when you're trying to make a pattern. So yeah, you can drop whatever little images you want on there and it'll crop inside of the socks. Okay. So you have that option too. I want to see some socks, and socks are really, really growing in our industry. So I definitely want you to take advantage of this wave and make sure that that you're doing your part to stay in the loop. Okay. Tanya, yeah, I'm gonna try out the silky socks. I've heard great things about them. So I definitely want to put that out there, and I'll be doing some more demonstration videos of like physical sublimation and tutorials, like someone asked about tiling the big prints. I don't do that. I don't really have the time to do that, but I would certainly show you how at one point in time when I had to do that I did that. Okay. And the socks, I got to remember to show y'all the taco method for the socks. All right, Kimberly. Erica just replied to you. It's called Innate Creatives. INNATE. Next word, CREATIVES. Innate Creatives. I don't sell the jig, Tracy. I don't know who may still sell that jig. I got them years ago, and I have like a set of like 8 pairs of them. I think they stopped selling them. They might be like hard to work with, and they get really hot, and you know, basically you can't touch them, you know, straight off the press sometimes. But there are some other jigs too. I think Silky Socks has some jigs as well. Yeah, they have that brown one. I'm looking for a jig that's like thinner, because the problem that I have, I don't like the big jigs, the ones that are thicker, because I have to do too much to control that white line on the side. So made some with cardboard. Yeah, and even like if you can get that really, really good high quality the Sublime socks, they come with literally cardstock in there, and that's how they're shipped to you. You press them, you don't even have to insert anything in them. So I'm sure you can use a really high grade cardstock as well. So they burn crispy. Oh no. Yeah, I use the Sublime socks, and the reason why I do is because when I was going to events, I'm gonna tell you right now, loading those jigs and unloading those jigs, I had to do that over the Christmas break when I did my Christmas socks, because I did socks that had like the Christmas sweater pattern all throughout it, and using the jigs was just, it was so time consuming when I had to mass produce. So I tried to find socks that I didn't have to use jigs, which that's what the Sublime socks were for me. And then when I was doing events, I would do the sneaker conventions, and the socks were already ready to go. Of course, when you stretch them out, they look better. If you stretch them and then press them, and then, you know, they're brought back to their original size, they have a little more saturation of the color than when you press them when they're not stretched all the way out, and then you stretch them out on the foot. So that is an issue that you run into if you don't use a jig and you're just pressing the sock either as is or with that very thin insert that the Sublime socks come with. Condi, I use Condi and Coastal for the socks. Coastal makes you buy a set of them. Condi, you can literally buy just like one of this size, one of another size. But I stick with the crew size, and that's it. But I'm definitely gonna try the Silky socks too, because I like the idea that the bottom doesn't have to have the color for some of their socks, and that will save a lot of ink. But I also understand that, like, for my sneaker clients, although they're getting the socks for sneakers, sometimes they like to have the print all over the sock because they wear slides. And when they wear the slides or the sandals, they want to be able to see the graphic all the way through the foot. So definitely the tri-board from Dollar Tree, covered with butcher paper. Okay, we're learning all kind of stuff tonight. Yeah, the only thing I thought about the cardboard, and you can tell me if this happens with the cardboard. I've used it a time or so before, but I kind of get the lines from the cardboard in my print. If it's not like already like crushed and pre-pressed, and like you pretty much crushed that corrugated part of the cardboard, I would see the corrugated marks in my print. And sometimes it was faint, but it just used to bother me. So I tried to find a more solid material for that. So yeah, y'all got some good questions and some comments and input. Absolutely, Kimberly, this is my pleasure. My pleasure. All right. So I know some of y'all are like, oh, they asking questions. I just want to get this link to this template. You're welcome. I'm going to go ahead, and if there are no more questions, we'll get this this template link put up at the end of this video, guys. So just stick around. You might have to refresh your page to see the link, but I'm about to post it right now. Okay. All right, loves. I appreciate y'all. Good night and happy Valentine's. Love you all.